Hi, my name is Delores Etter, and I attended Oklahoma State University from the fall of 1965 through the fall of 1967. I grew up in the small town of Shidler, Oklahoma. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive northeast from Stillwater. If you're familiar with Oklahoma, it's between Ponca and Pawhuska. My grandparents had land on the edge of Shidler and raised cattle, and we lived next door to my grandparents. I have one brother, and we always had multiple dogs. I feel very fortunate to have grown up in Shidler. Our lives were centered around sports, school, and church. I met my husband at OSU in a large humanities class during my sophomore year. Jerry was a senior from Tulsa, majoring in aerospace engineering. We got engaged the following summer and got married 2 months later in September 1967, just before classes started. Our plan was that Jerry would finish his undergraduate degree and get his graduate degree while I finished my undergraduate degree. But the best plans don't always work. The Vietnam War was at its peak, and the Tulsa Draft Board was planning to draft Jerry as soon as he graduated with his undergraduate degree. We decided that the best option was to make a 5-year commitment to the Air Force, so Jerry was off to officers training school in San Antonio, and this was in the summer of 1968. Our first assignment was Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. Second Lieutenant Etter worked on the first remotely piloted vehicles, the first drones, while I was still trying to get my undergraduate degree finished. In the 5 years in Ohio, I completed my BS and MS degrees at Wright State University, and our daughter was born there, Amy Marie. Our next assignment was at the Air Force Research Lab in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Captain Etter worked on laser weapon systems using large telescopes, while I completed my PhD in electrical engineering and computer engineering at the University of New Mexico. I joined the faculty at the University of New Mexico teaching digital systems and the design of large software systems. My research area is adaptive signal processing, and in 1990 I accepted a faculty position at the University of Colorado in Boulder, and Jerry accepted a position at Ball Aerospace in Boulder, where he continued work on laser weapons and missile interceptors. I never considered another university. It was always OSU. Part of this is because it was the closest university to my hometown in Shidler. Also, this decision was influenced by a group from OSU that came to the Shidler School every year with fun performances and talks about OSU. So it all worked. It was only OSU. In choosing my career path, I found that some choices determine other choices. Getting married and the following life decisions of Jerry going into the Air Force and our decision to start a family determined many other choices. For example, the universities that I attended to finish my education were determined by Jerry's Air Force assignments. While a graduate student at UNM, I taught courses in engineering computing, and I really did enjoy that. I also did an internship at Sandia National Labs with Dr. Sam Stearns, and that work was in seismic signal processing. I chose to extend that for my dissertation, and I wanted to continue teaching at the university level. So with the area of adaptive signal processing as my research area, that determined my career path into academics in a university. During my career, I worked closely with colleagues at the National Energy Lab, Sandia, Los Alamos, Livermore, and also with colleagues in the Department of Defense and colleagues in the intelligence community. I was very proud to be able to contribute in the areas of adaptive signal processing to national security. I spent 10 years of my career in Washington, D.C. area. 5 years of that was spent teaching at the Naval Academy in Annapolis, 3 years in the Pentagon as the Deputy Undersecretary of Defense for Science and Technology, and 2 years in the Pentagon as the Assistant Secretary of the Navy. As the Assistant Secretary of the Navy, I was responsible for the acquisition of all of the military platforms for the Navy and the Marine Corps, including aircraft carriers, submarines, F-35 aircraft, the Marine Corps' MRAP, mine-resistant ambush protected vehicles, and the V-22. Can you imagine a more fun and challenging opportunity? While I was Assistant Secretary of the Navy, I created a program to select the outstanding scientists and engineers for the Navy and the Marine Corps. After I left that position, the Navy renamed the awards as the Department of the Navy's Dr. Delores M. Etter Outstanding Scientist and Engineers Award, and they've continued to do that annually. My final position was an endowed professorship in the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, and I retired from SMU in 2016. At this point in our lives, my husband and I are committed to helping young people choose an education that will allow them to follow their dreams and to contribute to their communities and the world around them. We're doing that with scholarship programs at schools that were important to us, so OSU is at the top of the list. We also provide scholarships to each student that graduates from Scheidler High School. These students use the scholarships to attend universities, colleges, and technical vocational programs. From age 12, my dream was to attend OSU. Being able to attend OSU as a student was indeed a dream come true. And now to be honored by OSU by being inducted into the CEAT Hall of Fame and to be awarded the Lohmann Medal is indeed more than I could have imagined as that young girl at age 12. Thank you for this wonderful honor. Go Pokes!